The following podcast contains adult language, profound stupidity, hardcore nudity, and drug references. Children should not listen to it. Everyone else, but fucking Olive. Nailed it.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Plotty Time, the podcast where we three gamers discuss video game stories in detail with all the necessary and appropriate backlash. My name is Poppascotch, and with me, as always, is Chump Slap. Cocked and loaded.
Yeah, was that a shotgun?
It
was a
we
lock.
have Dr. Syintist.
How's it going?
It's going great. What have you been getting yourself into this week, Dr. Syintist?
Well, watching Marvel movies.
Still doing that?
Yeah, I got like 5 more to go, and then it's 2 weeks to the movie, so I got plenty of time. Paid attention to War of the Sparks spoilers for Magic, and I beat Horizon Zero Dawn.
Nice. Did you come around on it? Did you get stronger weapons? What happened with Horizon?
I don't know. No. I don't know if I like the game or not,
But you did beat it.
but I did beat it. There's parts of it I like and parts of it I hate.
Would you go back and play the DLC, the Snow Winter expansion thing?
Well, I have it, and I'm going to play something else in between because I'm sick of seeing Aloy get hit and go, ah! And then stand back up and get hit and go, ah!
Aloy?
Yeah.
I just thought it was Alloy.
No.
Alloy made sense to me. Because it's robots.
Made sense to me, too. That's what I went with. What about you? What about you over there,
makes two
Chump Slap?
L's.
What have you been getting into?
I haven't been doing shit. I got an email from PlayStation that says I spent 0 hours last month on PlayStation.
Wow.
They asked if I was okay. They're like, hey, what are you doing?
I still don't get emails that you guys get. I don't.
Yeah, but other than that, I've been reading a lot of Magic spoilers and putting together decks. Same old, same old.
Magic card game spoilers?
Yeah.
Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, man, there's a new set coming out. It's pretty badass.
Yeah. Some top tier shit.
You wouldn't
Sounds
get
pretty
it.
badass.
How was your trip, Poppascotch, since you didn't play any Division?
It was good. Vegas is fun. I went to North Vegas this time instead of just staying on the Strip, like Fremont Street and places like that, some museums. Just went to Circus. Got into their
Circus?
yes, that's where Hunter S. Thompson had his famous drug trip that he wrote about in Fear and Loathing.
Which one?
Is that the one with the bar that's around a carousel?
Yes.
Is that a real place? The carousel bar?
Yeah. No, they do have like an amusement park in there, but it's not like right there.
Where he sees the lizards and he
Yes.
goes after Cameron Diaz?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I went there and it was pretty cool. Also went to the Mob Museum and the Haunted Museum, which is I forget the guy's name, Zach B. He has one of those ghost hunter shows on like Discovery Channel.
Johnny
or
Be Good?
TLC or one of those. It's Johnny Be Good. Yep. And there's a whole bunch of items that were haunted in it, which I'm
So
pretty sure it was all real.
It was a museum of haunted things, not a haunted museum.
Well, the museum itself was haunted as well.
Okay.
The museum itself is now haunted because all the haunted things
How many ghosts did you
are
see?
in it. At least a baker's dozen.
Did you bring in any scientific equipment to see if there were cold
No,
spots and stuff?
man.
EMF detectors?
Yeah.
They don't even let you take pictures in there.
Well, if they don't need to have proof of ghosts out there.
I guess you're right.
It seems ridiculous you can't take a camera in.
Yeah, and they have like surveillance on the whole thing. I'm sure for like
Just in case a
insurance
ghost
reasons or
shows up,
whatever.
they have surveillance everywhere.
Exactly. They have some pretty provocative footage. I suggest you guys take a look at. Might
Naked
really
ghosts?
change your minds. There's not exactly.
Well, you said provocative. I was kind of...
Is there proof that the world's flat there? It's pretty
I
provocative.
didn't see any.
But proof of ghosts.
Are you asking me if there's proof of ghosts
There,
in the haunted
at the
museum?
museum, yes.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Of course there
go
is.
check it out right now.
What are you, stupid? Why else would they make a museum?
Exactly, but yeah. So that was my trip to Vegas, and I didn't play any video games or watch anything that wasn't on a hotel TV.
So porn.
Anything that's not on a hotel TV.
You could pay to get it on a hotel TV. Charge it to the company.
I can't imagine submitting that in my expense report. Like, here's the cab from the airport, titty flicks, then dinner.
Do you have to
Wednesday
itemize
night.
everything, or can you just put room cost?
It's a program called Expensify. You just like take a picture of the receipt and it automatically adds it to the report. Then you submit the report. So it's like half manual, but easy. Anyway, we're getting hung up.
Yeah,
What
why are we
need to be
talking about this
about
shit?
today?
I want to know how ghosts are real.
Of course they're
Yes, ghosts are real. There's foot. I'll send you some YouTube videos that prove that place is haunted.
real. Perfect.
Ghosts are real, people.
Nothing greater than the anecdotal evidence on YouTube.
Speaking of ghosts that are real,
That takes us to today's game from the Segway Master Chump Slap. We are talking about the PlayStation 2 classic, The Suffering. Have you guys, before you did any research, ever heard of this game?
Not at all.
no. I'm surprised.
Okay, because I remember playing it on PS2. I don't remember how I got a hold of it. It could have been someone's in college or something like that.
Yeah,
'Cause
this is
game
like
was
one of those-
released.
Found it at Terry's Music Explosion for rent.
Right. Yeah, this is released March 2004. So 3 years
3 years post
After.
9/11.
exactly.
Weren't you in college? Yeah, it must have been.
Yep, 3 years after 9/11. So does anybody want to give a rundown, or should I just do it?
You do it. It's your game.
Oh, okay.
Your choice.
I guess I was just being polite, seeing if you guys wanted to do it.
No.
I was gonna let you guys have that.
Maybe next time when we do the Suffering too.
Perfect, because there is a Suffering too, by the way. It's called The Ties That Bind.
We're not going to go into that now.
No, we'll save it for a definite future episode. So you play as the character named Torque, who obviously is a badass because his name's Torque. Because you can't have a guy in the video game named Torque and him not be a badass. That's just
Anybody with those sideburns is definitely a badass.
They don't ever say your real name, right?
I just assumed it was Torque.
no.
Oh, well, it's on his birth certificate. Just says Torque, no last name.
Everybody calls him T. So,
True. T-Orc.
Come on. So you are Torque. You have possibly murdered your wife and 2 children. We
been
find it
convicted
out.
of.
You've been convicted of and sentenced to murdering your wife and your 2 children. You, as Torque, say that you blacked out during the whole thing and you don't remember any of it.
Classic defense.
Torque does not say this because he doesn't say anything in the whole game. We have ourselves a silent protagonist. So what are your thoughts on silent protagonist, Chump Slap? Yes, no, maybe?
Do you think he was silent his whole life? Like, he never talked to his wife or his kids. Maybe he's mute. I don't know.
Are you sure he didn't talk? Because I didn't notice.
He did not talk. No.
Oh.
No, he didn't talk in the game, but now I'm intrigued because it hadn't even occurred to me. Because I always just assumed he didn't talk as a result of the horrific events he witnessed.
Which he doesn't remember.
You're right. That would make sense.
Yeah.
So maybe he was quiet his whole life.
Maybe it's just a badass. And he's like, I don't fucking talk to these people.
Everybody knows who he is.
It's true.
No, I can talk. I just fucking hate it. So I'm not doing it.
Now, is this supposed to be like a big story, big news story, like all over, like OJ and shit?
I don't know if it's like OJ level, but it's definitely well known in that area. Which also, I suppose, he didn't. Did they say where his crime took place? Because the prison that we're in that takes us through this story is in Maryland.
But he's probably in a federal prison, so it could be anywhere.
Right. But everyone knows him for some reason. You wouldn't think he'd have that much.
Yeah.
You know.
How many, like, murders of their families have you seen on TV that you'd know? And,
Well,
a lot
yeah.
of people would know.
I guess when somebody kills their wife and kids, it's pretty big news.
And you could
long
see
as
maybe
they're
there
white.
was like a. Yeah, exactly. Well, you could see, like maybe it was a big story because he blacked out and didn't remember doing any of it.
Oh yeah, it's got like
Maybe that's what makes it different,
the whole world's on like 2 different sides. Like he did it, he didn't do it, he did it. You know?
Yeah, it's just like the Making a Murder. Same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
This game was released for PC, PlayStation 2, and Xbox by Midway Games. It's an action game, a platformer / adventure game. You do jump, you run around, you shoot things, you shoot demons. It's pretty great. and it takes place in Abbott State Penitentiary on Carnate Island off the coast of Maryland.
Hey, I bet.
God, I hate that guy.
Oh, it's so fantastic. What a great game.
So where is this island? Is it in Chesapeake Bay or is it like in the Atlantic Ocean?
I thought it was, obviously on the Atlantic south end of Maryland because
Near Virginia?
Yeah.
Because the Coast
That's
Guard's
what I got out of it.
involved in this.
Well, they do Chesapeake Bay too. I mean, it's part of the coast.
It didn't seem those looked like the harsh, unforgiving waters of the Atlantic.
Oh, yeah.
If I
had to place those terrible graphics somewhere, it was the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it did look. They were venturing into New Jersey territory, but I thought that was just like for effect. You know what I mean? Like to try and make it look as horrible as possible.
The New Jersey waves are much better than the Maryland waves.
Is this an actual jail, actual prison?
Doubt it.
No, it's not. But the prison and the entire island has a terrible and troubled history.
And what is that, Poppascotch?
A lot of evil shit happened there, and they believe that that's where evil lives. That's the short version. I mean, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
We'll get into it hard.
Oh, does this game go into the history of the island?
They gloss over it a lot and say a lot of weird things happened here.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And all of the enemies that you fight in the game are either prison-themed or horrible island event themed. Like there's a slave master guy by the slave ship, which is
Yeah, that's true.
pretty nuts. And then there's like characters. I do have all the bad guys' names. Slayer, he's made of like shivs and stabbing weapons and so on and so forth.
The mainliner. That was my
Mainliner
favorite.
was awesome.
And marksmen who fire guns at you, they're supposed to be like the firing squad.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was a pretty cool thematic thing. But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Sure
The story very, very, very begins with a man by the name, a CO, corrections officer by the name of Ernesto Alvarez. And he's escorting Torque to death row. And this is where we have the pitfalls of a silent protagonist. You get a lot of caricature, like over-explaining of what's happening from other characters.
Oh, I thought you were going to say a lot of racist characters in jail.
Well, there are some unfortunate stereotypes in this game. Especially in this opening scene.
Yes, yeah, this was really bad.
Basically, the opening scene we start with, they're getting escorted. Ernesto is giving you the entire backstory of Torque that we just went over, how he supposedly murdered his wife and 2 children. And Ernesto is a real huge prick to Torque right now. Like, unnecessarily mean to Torque.
Well, he's just like, yeah, you're a piece of shit. You killed your wife and your kids. Who kills kids? What kind of piece of shit are you?
Well, I didn't say he was a liar.
Oh, okay.
I just said he was being a little mean. But, yeah, I have right here in my notes, we have some rather offensive voice acting with, quote, standard gangbanger and wise old black man.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah. I couldn't have said it better myself.
So who was your favorite stereotype in these? Of this main group in the first scene there, Syintist? Did you love the most?
I think it was like the cowardly sexual predator guy. I'm not exactly sure what his crimes were, but he's like talking like real.
They called him a pedophile or something.
Yeah. So your favorite is the pedophile.
My favorite stereotype, yes, was that. His portrayal was spot on.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I agree. I absolutely agree. What about you, Chump Slap?
My favorite was like the main guy, the guy who died last.
Oh, right.
Like, I guess he's like a big black guy, like Green Mile guy. Just like been there forever, knows everybody, talks about everything.
Yeah. Yeah, these cells, too, are like pretty large. They look like holding. They don't look like long-term stuff.
I'd assume it would be holding because he just got there.
I thought it was death row, though.
Yeah, but he just got to the
That's a good point.
Well,
building.
I mean, in holding cells, they just throw a bunch of people in. It's not just one person to each cell.
True.
Good point. But as soon as this, we get a little rundown of these stereotypes, an earthquake happens, unfortunately. And what this does is, it's not your standard earthquake. It's some kind of demon dimension opening up, and strange and crazy creatures are released and try to kill all the inmates on death row. And Torque's the only one I think that survives this.
Yeah, they kill all 4 of them in the beginning. the guys that were just talking to him, at him.
When do they explain that it was a hell earthquake?
I don't know if they do explain it's a hell earthquake specifically.
I don't think they ever do.
No, I think it's just supposed to be understood. I think they call them demons.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of assumed something dumb happened, but I didn't know this.
What other kind of earthquake is there?
The fun thing, too, about all these demons, they were actually designed by Stan Winston, the famous Hollywood makeup effects guy. No.
What this guy, like who? What did he do?
He's not H.R. Geiger, so I don't know who he is.
Did he do like Hellraiser and stuff? Because they looked Hellraiser-ish.
He did a lot of James Cameron stuff.
Like the Na'vi?
He did the He got an Oscar nomination for The Thing, like the original The Thing.
Oh yeah, okay.
He did Terminator, Aliens, Predator, Monster Squad.
Oh, well, you can stop there.
Oh, Monster
Yeah.
Squad.
Monster Squad's definitely the best out of all those movies you named. Kick him in the nards.
Wolfman's got nards. They got a big name to design their monsters, which is pretty cool. I doubt he did like any animation or anything, but he did the sketches.
The monsters looked good.
I did think the monsters were designed very well. I'll give you that.
We talked a little bit about some monsters, but they didn't really show it in the video, and it's kind of an important thing, is you have morality choices as the game goes on.
Is that what the talking voices in your head are the whole time?
Yes, exactly.
Save him. He can help you.
That the female voice you're hearing is your wife, who you see throughout the entire
Oh my gosh,
event.
she still nags him even in death.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And then the other voice is some kind of evil demon voice that tells you to do the wrong thing, and she tells you to do the good thing. And there's 3 different endings. They get determined by how moral you are, but your way to kind of like pay attention and see the statistic is in your inventory. You have a picture of your wife and children, and the shittier you are as a person, the shittier the picture gets. It gets like creased edges and
That's kind of cool.
rubbed out and dirty.
Yeah, they didn't go over that in the video. That's actually a pretty cool mechanic.
Yeah, I thought that was really neat that they did that, because to get the good ending, I don't think there are specific things you have to do. Like, if you do enough good things, like 9 out of 10 or whatever, then you'll get the good ending, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I assume like you had choices, either kill or help people, right?
Yeah, there were a lot where you'd run into a CO or a guard,
Yeah.
and it's like, hey, come help me make this, or help me open this door, and then you hear the demon, kill that guy right now.
Shoot him in the face.
But if he lives, he
Yeah.
can help you.
Kill him.
She said that every single time.
He'll just slow you down.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So we keep doing it. I'll do the ones.
Yeah.
Keep talking to Poppascotch over here. Quit your job.
See, I hear those voices every day. It's weird. It's finally great that someone put them in a game for me. But so after initial attack, Torque starts getting his shit together, and he sees on the security monitors that the entire prison is under attack.
By Shiv monsters.
Yes.
But
Ooh, but what?
why did the monsters kill all the other guys but open the door for him? Like the monster opened the door, right?
I was very confused at this part.
Yeah, I think I don't know if they opened the door specifically for him or if it was just part of the earthquake that jarred it open or whatever. I don't think he's specifically special
Okay.
in this story.
That's
You know
what
what
I
I mean? Like
thought.
he's not the chosen one or whatever that has to do it. Nothing like that.
Okay.
That's what I got from it.
I thought it was like showing you that he wasn't that evil. He wasn't as evil as the other people. That's why they didn't kill it.
I mean, they're killing guards too.
Yeah. Well, that's not until right later.
Oh, the one thing I wanted to mention, they have this. It's very Max Payne-like, where you just slam painkillers, and that's like your health.
Is that what the zombium is?
Yes, I was getting to the zombium.
Yeah, they
Great
had to
name.
throw zombie in there, didn't they?
Wouldn't you do a painkiller that was called zombium? Like, hey, your doctor's like, I'm going to write you a prescription for zombium. Only take 1 a day.
Helps you sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fun fact is that's actually what Ambien was originally called. Zombium.
I
It didn't
believe
go over well with test groups.
Oh, too many people getting up and killing people.
And then they changed the formula slightly. Now it's Ambien and meth. So
I was going to say bath salts, but
bath salt's good. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Fucking bath salts. Crazy times.
You don't hear much about them anymore. But I digress.
Yes. So what happens after this part, Syintist? Where are we led?
Well, you run into a bunch of, like, isn't there a guard on the other side and you try and get out of the death row area?
Yes.
And then,
Yes, there actually is.
It's like a really cocky, like FBI agent
Yeah.
type guy, isn't it?
yeah.
I don't know why I thought he was an FBI agent.
And then you're just basically walking around the jail, but prison, for a while.
Yes. There's also the really important time where you're in the office and you get a phone call from your dead wife.
Yeah, that happens quite a bit in this game, apparently.
It does, yes. But the first one is where she tells him that the evil and everything, the thing causing everyone to be bad is the prison. Like, it brings out the evil in everyone, is the quote she says.
Yeah.
And she's like, the longer you're on here, the more trouble you're in. Get the fuck out of here.
So are we supposed to believe that's her ghost trying to help him through this?
That's an interesting question, because I couldn't tell if it's just him going completely insane or if that's actually
I think it's just
the
him.
ghost of her.
Like, he just picks up the phone. He's like, oh.
Yeah,
And then he hears another voice.
Could be. It could be either. I think I kind of got that. I got that he was insane or he was losing it.
He's obviously insane.
But I mean, if there's yes, he's obviously insane. But if there are, a hell dimension opening up and Shiv monsters and marksmen following you, well, why wouldn't it be possible that ghosts are real at that point?
Yeah. And why would your wife want to help you if you killed her, though?
Ooh, another good quote.
She's like, I can overlook that.
Yeah, just get out and keep your sanity.
Yeah. Go kill somebody else, honey.
Who? No, fuck. What was the line? Who was the guy in the last episode where they're like, I don't accept your apology because you're not the same man.
That was Malik.
Yeah.
Malik, yes. It's like, no, you're totally different now, and it's cool. I get it. No worries.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
It's like, oh, yeah, he killed me, but, well, yeah.
We are magically whisked away to, or, we make our way into the basement, and this is where we find our three, I guess, antagonists in the game. Our three ex-prisoners. Who are they, Chump Slap?
We got Gas Ghost, Electric Ghost, and Doctor Ghost.
Nice.
That's perfect.
Yes, and they all have their own motivations. Dr. Killjoy, which, I mean, I'm not thrilled about that name.
No. Well, he was a doctor that killed people.
Sometimes you just work into your name.
Yeah.
I guess.
It's like Hancock.
So, yeah, Dr. Killjoy ran the insane asylum in the 20s, and he wants to, he's a ghost, and he wants to find out what's wrong with Torque.
Oh, yeah.
And whenever we see him, he's like the image from a projected film, basically.
Yeah.
Were there actual projectors all over this place, or was that just in Torque's mind?
I assumed it had something to do with the ghost.
Well, it's weird because in the boss fight, you destroy a bunch of projectors.
Yeah,
But
so
he
they-
shows up in places that don't have projectors. You guys are getting hung up on all the wrong games.
Am I?
I don't think so.
And the other ghost, Hermes T. Haight, executioner at Abbott for 27 years and killed himself in the gas chamber.
Yeah, he was the gas ghost.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
he's the green vapor gas
He had a
ghost.
He had a voice that was slightly different from Electric Ghost, just because he'd breathe a little heavy. It's the only way I could tell him apart.
He sounded very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like all the time, like.
Seemed like he was annoyed that he had to talk to you or something.
And he's definitely the biggest asshole of all of them.
And then what was Electric Ghost? He was just
Horace, I don't even have anything written for him.
yeah. I didn't know exactly. Was he a prisoner that died, or was he?
Oh, he has probably the best backstory. He's Horace P. Gage. He was killed in the
Gage.
electric P. Gage. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But he killed his wife during a conjugal visit, and he's full of guilt for killing his wife, and he blames the island for making him do it. So he wants to be. He's not even really an antagonist. He wants Torque to realize his decency. Like he's the guardian angel, I guess, because there's several points in the game where he helps you.
Are they supposed to be like your 3 different ending courses? Like each
Yeah,
one
that's
has to
what I
do
was
with-
thinking. Like, Hermes is the bad one because he wants you to just kill everybody.
And Horus is the good one.
And the doctor is the neutral one.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense if the doctor's the neutral one because he's just trying to find out what's
what's up
going
with
on.
it.
Like, he doesn't really care one way or the other. He's not pushing you to kill anyone, but he's not exactly helping you either.
Yeah, and Horus is like, oh, come on, be a good guy. You can be
Right.
better than this.
Which one is your favorite, Chump Slap?
Probably the gas ghost because he doesn't give a fuck and he like killing people.
Okay. Like I said before the episode, I think I'm coming around on the soundboard. I think I am. Because that would be a good one to hit every once in a while.
He like killing people.
He doesn't give a fuck.
He doesn't give a fuck, and he like killing people. What about you, Syintist? Is it Dr. Killjoy?
Yeah, it's
We're gonna
Dr.
go
Killjoy.
fellow
He was
doctors
awesome.
sticking together?
Has to be the doctor.
Yeah, I figured. You're such a stereotype, Dr. Syintist.
What about you?
I guess Hermes is definitely the most entertaining, but we're going with a theme, so I'm going to say Horus. Horus is my boy.
Fair enough.
He just wants to, keep Torque real, pretty much.
Yeah.
But not like evil real.
Prevent him from making the mistakes he did.
Yeah, he's like, don't be a dick like me, man.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you're going to be here forever, and this place blows. There's no chicks.
I have another question. How do they have like every type of like capital punishment in this place? Because doesn't each state have something different in the federal
I think you're allowed to choose how you die.
but each state is different. I don't know.
Well, can't you choose, though? Can you petition to do it this way?
I guess. But you think they're set up for firing squad all the time?
I just accepted that as the fact because I assumed the island was a prison for, hundreds of years
Yeah.
since
I assume the firing
like
squad.
1700s.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they had an electric chair and a lethal injection and a gas chamber and a firing squad place. Surprised there weren't gallows.
Huh. Good point.
No, there is a hanging enemy.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. I remember that.
They descend from the ceiling, and yeah, of course they do.
That seemed like a suicide, though. Like a prison suicide type thing.
Could have been. Who knows? It's Maryland. They probably hung people all the time.
Yeah, true.
Fucking Maryland.
All right. So continue on with the story, Poppascotch. Where does it go after we meet these guys?
This is a part that confused me. Maybe you guys can help me understand this, but you get to the next section. Actually, before you even get into that, you have the ability to turn into a huge werewolf monster and kill people. That's like your rage mode.
Yeah.
Your insanity.
Your
meter.
insanity, yeah.
Right, but I did read, and that is canon, that is not real. Like, that's how...
Yeah,
you don't actually turn into a werewolf. That's just how Torque sees himself when he's in angry mode.
Yeah, exactly.
So he just enters angry mode.
He just goes, berserk and just kills shit.
Exactly. It's like in the classic game we discussed a couple episodes ago, Wet.
Yeah.
When she goes
when she
into
gets the
her
blood on
red
her.
mode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why would
It's
they?
conceptually the same thing.
Why wouldn't they just make him? Why would they make him change into a monster though? But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Whatever.
Because it makes more sense that he'd have like blade arms and hurt people better than just little old fucking Torque punching. He'd look silly.
Yeah. Because the rest of the game is real believable and down to earth.
I just went with it's a metaphor
Yeah.
for transforming into a monster.
All right. I mean, it makes sense, but they didn't have to make him actually transform into the monster.
Right. You're right, but it looks badass, so they went with it.
I think he thinks that's what happens to him, though. They're just showing you what he thinks.
This is the bad me. This is the drunk me.
Yeah, like he's insane. That he actually thinks it happens.
Right. Yes,
Okay.
probably.
Well, that's what the doctor says if you read the entire wiki with all the citations.
Well, I wasn't about to do that for this game.
Oh, I did, just to find out why they said it was fake. Like, why they said he didn't turn into a monster.
Oh, okay.
Any hoodles. So now you have to run through barracks to get to the other end of the facility because right now your only goal in this game is to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, I was very confused on your goal in this game through the entire thing.
That's it. Just get out. And you have to go through a section where you go through barracks. or old military barracks, whatever. And you see a lot of flashbacks from like World War II.
Okay.
You guys know what I'm talking about? Like there was the one where it looks like a general or whoever is like shooting his own guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a lot of weird ass flashbacks.
Yeah.
There.
I kind of liked it because it built the world out. It's it showed that even maybe during World War II, when it was like a prisoner of war camp or whatever.
In Maryland.
Yeah, there's horrible shit happened all the time.
But a World War II prisoner of war camp in Maryland.
I mean, they were all over our country.
Yeah, but more like in Maryland.
Why not?
Yeah, okay, it's just unbelievable.
Why do you find this so hard to believe?
Whatever, just keep going on with the story. Okay, it was an internment camp in Maryland.
Oh, I don't know if it was internment. I'm talking like German soldiers getting boated over and having to be POWs here.
Yeah, that part doesn't make any sense to me, so we'll just go past that. Just accept that I don't get it.
Okay.
All right.
So what happens next, Chump Slap?
All right. What are we talking about after the
After the barracks, walking through.
blah blah blah?
You're basically walking in and out its doors all the time.
Is this where you meet the other guy,
Meet other guys.
Yes.
Dallas?
Yes. You meet Dallas. That is correct.
Dallas from Eastern, right?
Yes. What's his deal, Chump Slap? What do you got written down there?
He's a guy. He went to Eastern Penitentiary with you in your previous stint, which they never talk about, but you've been in jail before.
Yeah, they kind of never tell you why.
Yeah. Did they tell you why in the game? Like if you read all the notes and shit?
See, this is where I kind of got confused because was it a previous stint
Yes.
or has he been in jail for like years?
Well, it had to have been a previous stint because when he has flashbacks to his wife.
His wife knew
you said
about
you're
the
in
other
jail.
one.
Oh,
yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. She is alive at that point.
Yeah.
But no, they never said why.
Yeah. Well, you knew this guy from then, and you run around, and he's like, "Hey, let's get out of here. Open that door." He seemed like he was annoying. He was constantly nagging.
Yeah. I can't do that.
Like,
Do
"Hey,
it
where
for
are you
me.
at? Wait, don't leave me."
We got to open this door. Got to find a way. Hey, this door could be opened. We need to find a way to open it.
Yeah,
Well, someone in the game has to fucking talk, and it's not Torque.
it's true. And then that's when you find the first mainliner, I think.
Honest question, Chump Slap, and don't you dare lie to me right now. Where on your body are you getting that tattoo of that mainliner character?
Tramp stamp.
I wanted honesty, and I got it.
It'd be awesome.
Oh, man. I bet there is one tattoo of these characters out there. If there are, they'll be on the Instagram.
Nice.
Hashtag bad life choices.
Well, if they're listening to this podcast, obviously they did
Yeah.
something wrong to get here. Like, come on.
Why are you doing this on purpose? Why are you doing this to yourself?
But yeah, a lot of Dallas going on. I actually just have in my notes right here, Dallas sure does say Torque a lot. Like he kept saying the name Torque over and over.
Sure did. Hey, Torque. Hey, open that gate, Torque. Hey, the gate's open, Torque.
We should go through this gate, Torque.
We get our mainliner attack, and then this is also where you get your first vision of Carmen, where you actually like see her standing there and she
yeah.
talks to you.
Okay.
And then there's obviously there's a prison break, there's chaos, there's monsters trying to kill people. So you just randomly, it seems as you're going from one place to another, you randomly run into like other inmates.
And then, NCOs and all kinds of random people everywhere.
Right. And sometimes they, like this one right here is where you run into some gang members.
With horrible Spanish stereotype
Yeah.
voices.
Oh, this is where you run into Chico.
Yeah. And did I write this correctly? Did Chico come back at the end? Or does Chico come back at some point?
I thought he killed him.
I don't think so.
I thought he shot all three of them.
And who's Hargraves?
That's where you go to the library, and that's where he's a CO. You know how it is in prison with the one CO is just a dick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like that guy.
Yeah, but you just all of a sudden there's these 3 Mexican guys playing basketball, and they try to shoot you, so you just slaughter them.
Yeah. Then you go to the library for
Why
some
would they
reason.
just fucking? Why were they hanging out at the basketball court?
That also confused me.
They're so used to life on the inside. It was the only thing they knew how to do.
Yeah.
Like maybe if we run, we'll get more jail time home.
Yeah, he's like, look, I'm getting out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin it. I'm just going to play some basketball.
Yeah, let's just play basketball. This whole thing will blow over.
Yeah, These monsters ain't shit. Let's just chill here till it all calms down. And, we never know if it does calm down.
No, I guess we don't.
Did we meet Hargraves in the game before this?
I do not
Because they
believe
act
so.
like we... I didn't think so either, but they act like we should all know who he is.
Yeah.
I didn't. I just assumed he was a dickhead CO.
Yeah, he had a cowboy hat, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Of course he's a dick.
Yeah, I have written here the mean Southern sheriff stereotype. But it's a boss fight, and when you run into him in the library, he's just mowing people down.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just slaughtering people with a fucking big-ass machine gun.
That they store in the library.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a standard federal prison issue minigun. Did you guys not know that all of them have these?
Yeah, they're bolted to every library.
Knowledge is a powerful tool. They can't let it get out of hand.
Exactly.
But yeah, so you kill him, and then you move on with Dallas trying to get the fuck out of there.
Was it just me, or did he disappear and reappear a lot? Like you were doing things and he wasn't there saying anything.
No, because, you went around to open the doors and shit for him.
Oh,
Like, I don't know how to open this.
that makes sense. Yeah, I can't open a door. Go do it for me.
Yeah.
And he conveniently missed all the gunfights. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he had a gun, though, right?
Yeah, he did.
You give him a pistol or something.
So then you start seeing visions of a little kid that you chase around now? Like you go underground and there's somehow, I don't even know how that
Oh, I have written here, right after cowboy hat with the gun,
Oh, you see your wife. In a
your
vision.
wife shows up and she says, I'm pregnant and I'm leaving you.
Yeah, she does. Filing for divorce.
So she's pregnant with a third kid, or was that a flashback?
I think what I gathered is Carmen's visions. When he sees her, it's like a chronological thing.
So-
Like it starts with her being pregnant, and then there's like flashbacks where she's visiting him in prison and goes on from
So this
there.
time she's visiting him in prison, telling her she's pregnant.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to do
I'm
any
leaving you.
conjugal visits
Yeah.
again. Blah, blah, blah. I'm leaving you.
Yeah, and I took it that was their first child.
Oh, I kind of assumed it was the second, but either
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. I think it was the second, because I think she says, I'm not doing conjugal
the-
visits
yeah.
because I don't want to explain it to the little boy. And then there's another one coming.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Because there were two. I didn't get their ages, but they were roughly like, I don't know, 8 and 10 or 7 and 10, something like that.
Sounds good enough.
A couple years.
Young and slightly older.
Right. So then you go to the control room. At this point, I believe we didn't get to the lighthouse or radio tower thing.
Not yet, no.
No, you're still just working your way through cell blocks.
Yeah. Well, you've been outside.
Yeah, you've been outside and back in.
Why are you going back in the fucking building?
I don't know. I don't get that at
That
all.
part I didn't understand.
I didn't either. Why would you ever go back in when you were outside?
Because at some point they realized they had to call for help because it's an
that's
island,
right. That's right.
and no one. If they can't get anyone to come and pick them up, they're pretty much fucked. Which, don't you think, if they were an island, there'd be boats?
Yeah.
Yeah,
At least emergency stuff.
but it is a prison island.
Yeah, but the COs and stuff have to get there and get home.
I think there's a little town on the island too.
I gathered that too because this is where Consuela Alvarez, which
Yes.
come on, but Ernesto's wife calls and left a message saying that Ernesto should call her. They see a fire coming towards their house, but they're fine for now. So I took it that there was at least like family living areas on the island.
Yeah.
They saw the hellquake.
Yeah. Well, there was fire in the forest behind their house, is what she
The
said.
Hellquake.
Yeah.
By the way, hashtag Hellquake.
Hellquake.
It's probably a magic card.
Probably.
I hope it is. This is one of our first moments too. After this, where you run into Hermes, the green mist ghost, and he just kills people.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
He
just
just
in
comes
front of you.
out.
He's
yeah,
like,
he just all the time.
it's like, hey, check out these assholes dead.
I'm just going to be a little mist over here. Oh, don't breathe. Oh, you did breathe. Dead.
Yeah. So where do we go? Well, let's get back to the child running around the prison. Was that his child, or was there another child? Or weren't there like the little girls he sees?
Yeah, he sees a couple. He sees the little girls.
Oh,
for
yeah.
a
He
while.
sees those twins or whatever.
But he does see another guy, like
He sees his kid, I
Yeah,
think. His little kid.
kind of showing him where to go.
Yeah.
Yes, and he usually hears them speak. They say something to him, I should say.
Yeah.
The little girls are just creepy.
Yeah,
But then the little girls later, I believe, they turn into like a boss fight.
Yeah.
There's some other monster.
They turn into little fire demons.
This is where you finally get to the radio room.
Yep, and then you're like, oh, we can't use the radio.
We got to go to some.
We have to turn the power on?
I don't recall why, but that sounds about right. They have to go into the asylum for some reason.
Yeah, and you end up going through a graveyard.
Yeah, the fucking prison cemetery. Who gets buried there?
People who don't get claimed, I guess? Or, we want to keep it a little hush-hush.
Yeah, well, why are there fucking headstones?
They usually put them in paupers' graves, don't they?
Look, man, to be creepy. That's why they get buried there.
Okay.
To make this shit creepy.
But I thought that was weird.
Yeah, I did too. I thought that was really weird. And then you go through a forest to get to the insane asylum.
No, this is where you run into those fucking chain worm guys.
Yeah.
So, just to paraphrase, this island has the penitentiary,
Yes.
death row in the same penitentiary, and an insane asylum.
And a town and a lighthouse.
And a town and a lighthouse and a radio tower.
Yeah.
And 2 cemeteries.
At least 2. And
And a series of underground caves on an island.
a sweet basketball court.
Yes.
Yeah, no wonder Chico wanted to stay.
Yeah, it's,
This is regulation.
But, so what happens when we get to the asylum, Scientist?
You meet Dr. Killjoy. Well, I guess you don't really meet him for the first time, but he gives a lot of exposition here. Talks a lot.
There was an interesting moment here where you run into a gentleman. I think he's like the psychologist at the asylum.
The racist immigrant.
Yes, the filth. He called.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, the demon voice is a huge dick. But this is one of those moments where you get the demon voice and Carmen's voice, and Carmen's like, "He seems friendly. You should help him."
He is a filthy immigrant.
The demon calls him a filthy immigrant. Yes, which made it. I'm not ashamed to say it made me laugh.
He's a disgusting addict. Shoot him in the face.
Then you run into the guard right after this where he doesn't have any legs and he's dying and freaking out.
Yeah.
And you actually get a karma boost if you shoot
Oh, he's
him.
on the ground just making noises. It's real weird.
Oh, that's when the doctor's like, he says something really weird. Like, sometimes it's the body that's threatening the mind, and it must be removed.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, that's awesome.
I said, and somehow you end up like near a stage. Like there's
Like a play
Yeah.
area.
in an insane asylum.
Well,
Maybe I'm trying to think, do insane asylums normally have theater groups?
I assume they let him do something.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go to see one of those.
Maybe at least
Wow,
a
yeah.
talent show or something.
All right, I don't know. Okay.
I know, strange to you.
Yeah.
I thought it was like normal. Like,
I don't know. I've never been in an insane asylum.
it could have been like an old school or something that they just turned into an insane asylum.
Maybe.
That was turned into a prison.
What is this, Resident Evil?
Yeah.
Killjoy tells us how he wants to cure Torque. And what is the device that does that? Anybody?
I don't know what did they have a name for it?
Isn't it just a big thing that electrocutes people or something?
He refers to it as the rebirth machine.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little pompous.
Though, I mean, those two words together just make me feel very uncomfortable.
Rebirth machine.
Yes, I don't know why.
Sounds sexy.
It's not like afterbirth salad.
Machines don't give birth. Maybe that's what does it. I just think of like a Terminator, like just popping out a baby Terminator. It's how most of my fantasies start. But any hoodles. So you fight through a series. This Killjoy is giving you those tests, and you have to basically destroy all the projectors.
Yeah.
And you get introduced to, I guess, your clone,
Yeah, sure.
or the evil version of you. They don't really personify it.
No, they don't.
It's just, the classic mirror fight.
Evil Link fight.
Well, he's dealing with the demons inside himself. That's what this whole game's about.
You know, I thought that until I saw the end and he got away for real. And I was like, wait a minute, that can't be like that.
That's if you get the good ending. But you use the rebirth machine, you break him free, and he flies out into the woods or whatever. And that's when Killjoy kind of takes a break at this point.
Yeah,
he
kinda
doesn't really hang out much after this.
disappears.
But he says, tell you what, bro, you get back to the prison, and I'll give you the diagnosis. And then he just leaves, and you're like, okay. Guess I'm going back to the prison.
Yeah, this is where I started getting really confused on what the point of the game is.
Yeah, I just, totally lost me.
Yeah, this is very confusing because then you're on a beach all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I don't know why you couldn't go back the same way, but...
So do you ever go back to the prison?
Yeah.
Yes, you do, and on the beach, this is where we run into Clem. You guys remember Clem?
Clem dog.
I do not remember Clem.
Apparently, this guy has the worst timing in the world. He was planning an escape and halfway through executing it when the earthquake hit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
now I
yeah,
remember.
okay.
Okay.
He was like throwing explosives and Molotov cocktails at people. And he's like,
Yes.
Yeah, he tries to kill you at first.
And then he's like, hey, man, I was kind of planning this thing ahead of time, so I don't have any room in my one-person boat, but can you fight these monsters so I can escape cleanly?
Yeah, sure.
And then you do. They're emerging from a slave ship, is what I put down.
Is that what that was?
Yes, they're very pissed off ghosts. Or spirits, specters. I don't know. They can throw things. And you can kill them. So,
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. I don't remember them being... How'd you know they were slaves?
I read it on the wiki.
Oh, you probably find some info in game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't believe they mentioned it in the game. But the one guy has, the one big enemy you fight has like a ball on a chain, literally, and he swings it around.
That's right.
But then, for some reason, I don't remember how this happened, but we get to the sewers.
I don't know how you get in half the places you end up in this game.
Did you not play through the entire thing before this episode?
Of course it did.
You end up underground, and then the next thing you're on the top of a building, and then all of a sudden you're in the sewers, whatever.
Yes. No, you're right. It is a little silly. But this is where you encounter, for the first time, outside of the initial meeting, your boy Horace.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
This is where Horace tells Torque that Abbott, the island, or the penitentiary, Abbott's the penitentiary.
Yes.
It's Carnate Island. Abbott wants his soul, and he's like, you got to get out of here, and he opens the gate for you so you can escape. And he says to meet him in the dance halls. So there's also a dance hall on this island. They have everything.
Yeah, of course they do. Why wouldn't there be a dance hall in a prison?
Dude, can you imagine what the dances are like?
Awkward.
Yeah, I know. Like, awkward as fuck.
I just imagine they're like 6th grade dances or something.
Yeah, they both stand. They
on
all
opposite
stand on both
sides.
sides and look at each other.
And there's the one guy that's extremely out of it, but not violent. So he's like in the middle, just dancing like crazy.
Like he's at a rave.
Yeah.
Drop
Just
it.
rave music. But you also get another World War II flashback. I assume these are all World War II because you get the World War II Thompson guns in the game. So I thought that was kind of bringing that theme in.
That makes
Anywho,
sense.
they want to kill, in this flashback, the two guys are talking, they want to kill Americans who are spies. And it's heavily implied that there's, like, no evidence to support that. So this guy just wants to kill people, basically. Or the island's making him want to kill people with no evidence.
Obviously, it was the island. The island makes people evil.
Okay. But you head to the electric chair, you destroy it. And this is a interesting moment because for some reason to defeat the electric chair, you have to jump over electric rings that radiate out from the electric chair.
Yeah, I assume that was the ghost power.
Yeah, but he wants you to destroy it. Why is he hurting you, trying to kill you while you're helping him? I didn't understand that part.
I don't know. Maybe he couldn't control it.
Maybe the electric chair was sentient and wanted to live.
I thought it was Horace that wanted you to turn the electric chair off.
Yes, but I'm talking the electric chair itself.
Wanted to stay
is
on.
its own
Oh, it
monster.
didn't. No, yeah.
I think you're just getting ridiculous here, Poppascotch.
Well, that's obviously what happened.
That's where we draw the line. That's where Shiv monsters are fine. But once an electric chair wants to save itself, I lost you guys.
Yeah.
Sure did.
Okay. Now I know where the line is. Good. But now this is the part that really confuses me because you release Horace's spirit. Like he's really thrilled. He's happy that he's safe now. But then he comes back later in the game to help you again.
Yeah. It's like, I owe him a solid, I guess.
Yeah, but he should have been gone. Right?
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's like, you did it. Thanks. My spirit has been released into the afterlife. And then he's like, psych. Looks like you got a bridge you got to get across. I got you, bro.
Well, you went to the haunted museum. How does this work?
If there's anything I got from that museum, it's that dolls are creepy and are very susceptible to hauntings.
Did you see the Annabelle doll?
Was it the Annabelle doll? I think so.
Nice.
Anyway, so where do we go after this, Syintist?
I can't read my writing. Caverns?
So where do we
Question
go
mark?
after this Chump Slap?
I don't know, the old cemetery?
I have in my notes, and hey, I could be wrong, but you go back to Death Row.
I do. Oh, it does say death row.
Oh, is that what it says?
Death row conversation with something.
Well, you're on death row when you're fucking with the electric chair, I thought.
Maybe.
That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But you're back to Death Row where all the shit went down. And this was also a weird moment because his children were like, yeah, my dad's great. Kind of bummed he wasn't like around much though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then you see his wife again.
That really didn't. What was the point of that? Was it the point to make Torque feel bad? Or was it to maybe see that his children don't hate him? Or what? I was very confused by that moment.
Yeah, it's just making you believe he's a bad father.
Like the whole game, they're just saying, like the kids and his wife, they're like,
I wish he was
you were
around.
never around.
Yeah.
I wish you were around. You're a piece of shit, but I wish you were around. What the fuck?
Because I'm trying to work out in my head if Carmen and the children are his own internal guilt.
Well, he doesn't think he killed them, so why would he be guilty?
He doesn't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he really doesn't know. He doesn't know what the fuck happened.
I guess.
I guess through this is he starts remembering. Or does the island help him remember? There's very strange.
Well, apparently this has been happening his entire life, where he's been blacking out.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I
Missing
forgot about that
shit.
part.
Becoming the monster Torque.
Yeah. Which is assume what got him in jail the first time.
Maybe. Yeah.
Until like, did he use that?
He beat up a nun.
Yeah, did he use the blackout excuse the first time too?
Yeah.
It's like, no, you know what? You used that 4 other times. You're going to death row. You're getting put down, son. You can't keep going back to that well. But so you run into some guards. Oh, this is the fun part where the guards are like, "Hey, what's up? Yeah, we're just gonna stay here. So can you fuck off?"
Yeah, you think there'd be like a lot of bridging the gap here when a hellquake happens.
You would think, but
My belief in the human condition doesn't.
Well, the island makes people act strangely.
Oh, okay.
that's true. But if I was a corrections officer and I saw Shiv demons coming out, that in my mind, the way I think is it's immediately demons versus human beings now.
Yeah,
and
that's
we're
what
on
I
the
mean,
same
yeah.
team.
Should be. Well, then you could think there's 3 teams. It's like it's me versus the criminals versus the demons.
But the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
The friend of my enemy is my enemy.
Hashtag throwback.
I was just thinking, man, it'd be great if we had Bayonetta here.
Would it?
No.
Yes. You know how you felt when we were talking about the Bayonetta game? That's how I feel about talking about this game.
Horny.
Which brings us to our question we ask every week: is this game pornography?
I think I saw an 8mm.
8 mil.
The movie, yeah.
Oh.
Okay, I was gonna go yes as well.
So, okay.
But you run into a bridge and there's a truck like of inmates trying to escape, and
Conveniently bridges the gap for you.
they conveniently bridge the gap because Hermes straight up murders them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you need some help. Here we go. Dead. And now there's a bridge of disabled vehicles.
Why is Hermes helping? Because you fought him and killed him.
You didn't fight him yet. That gives you access to the cavernous part, I guess. I have caverns question mark because I don't know if they were caverns.
But you haven't had his boss, quote unquote, boss fight yet. You had the Killjoy one where you destroyed the projectors.
Yeah, the horse.
You had the electric chair one with Horus. So you're coming up on his boss fight.
Okay. So he's like helping you get to his arena because he wants to kill you. He wants to fight you in his hometown, his home turf.
Yeah, I guess he wants to do that, and he wants you to be evil. So he's like, well, if I keep throwing chances at him, eventually
Oh, yeah, fair enough.
he'll succumb. So it doesn't make sense for him to stop you, I guess.
So you walk around a little bit and you end up at the Hermes boss fight. I don't remember how this boss fight went down.
This fight, I think, is just pulling a bunch of levers and shit, like closing
Oh yeah.
pipes and then blasting him into the furnace.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens. You just are pulling levers, blast them in the furnace, and then the furnace goes on. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That seems a pretty.
And why are there these huge pipes of poison? Is that how the gas chamber works?
No.
Definitely not.
I did not think so. And plus, like, you'd think, does that get piped in from somewhere? Is the poison company like a service I can get put on?
Yeah, it's like natural gas.
Hey, there'd have to be underwater pipes that are going over there to the island.
Unless there's on the island, there's a gas
It from the town
warehouse.
goes right under the dance hall.
But here's the thing, too. Like, where would they be piping that in from? Or, alternatively, they have to pipe it to another part of the building. What would be... Why? Why would that reason exist?
There isn't one.
There, yeah.
Am I reading into this too much?
Yeah, the whole reason the pipes are there is to fight a gas ghost. Which I don't understand why you throw a gas ghost into a
It doesn't make-
furnace.
yeah, neither do I.
He'll die.
No. That was also very confusing. But move it. Let's move past it.
Okay.
Let's just...
So
we'll
he's
just
dead.
So the
believe
gas
this.
ghost burns.
Hmm.
Yes, the gas ghost burns, and you run into those weird British children again.
Yeah, and then they catch fire and start chasing you around a field.
Yeah, those guys look like they're a pain in the ass to fight.
Yeah, they did.
They were called the Inferns.
That's such a horrible name.
I thought it was Inferna, but
Infernos.
yeah.
I mean, we could look it up, but that's really not what we
No,
do
that's
here.
not our style.
Let's just call
We
him.
do the research once, and if we wrote it down wrong, fuck
It was
it.
Spanish.
Inf-
So a male would be an Inferno and a female would be Inferna.
Fair enough.
But finally, you get through these assholes, and you're finally in the radio room, and you finally send out a signal to get some help.
To the Coast Guard.
And the Coast Guard's like, well, coming soon.
But unfortunately, they're going to be screwed because the lighthouse isn't working.
So you have to
So
turn
you
the
have
light
to go to the lighthouse.
Yep. Where you run into your boy Ernesto. Remember Ernesto, guys, from the very beginning?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I should kill you right
I
now.
honestly did not realize it was the same guy. I'm glad you
Yep.
guys are here to tell me that.
You're welcome. So he's still an asshole to you pretty much the whole time, but he's like, let's go to the village. That's where my family is. So they run into the Infernas again.
Yeah.
And it's implied, I don't know what their backstory was, but I got that it was some kind of like a witch trial era.
Yeah, I think
Children?
they were just children burnt
Yeah.
at the stake or something.
And they were like snitching on people, and then their parents died because, you know, they snitched on them and everyone thought they were witches.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this is pretty rad, and became ghosts.
Yeah, that's believable.
Yeah, that's probably the best backstory we can get out of that.
Yeah. All right, well, fucking nailed another one.
So this
Where do we
island
go from here?
had witch trials and World War II prisoner of war camps
Might have been
and a
Civil
prison.
War. Yeah, there's a lot. It's a
And
lot of
an
history
insane
on this
asylum.
island.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
It sounds like a Stephen King book.
there's an old cemetery for fuck's sake. You don't have old cemeteries on non-historic islands.
Good point.
Maybe it's just a lot of stuff has come to that island because it's a good port area, and everything just turned out to be terrible.
It's
because the
susceptible to
island's evil.
hellquakes.
Yeah, this isn't the first
Well,
one.
they don't put that on the brochure. Also, are we led to believe? I assume we're led to believe that this is the only time this has happened in the history of the island,
I would assume so.
as far as hellquake and demons running around.
Yeah. Did this only happen on the island? I thought this might have been a worldwide thing.
Yeah, it never really tells
They don't
you.
tell you.
No, because the only person from the outside you run into again is the guy in the Coast Guard at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
And he makes it, and who knows where he could have been on a ship out in the ocean. He doesn't know what's going on, mainland.
True that.
But this is also where we run into Horace again because the gate's locked. And Horace is like, hey, what's up, bro? You saved my soul, so I'm going to go ahead and open this door for you.
But this is it.
Yeah. Last time, though, for realsies.
All right, peace out again.
Yes, and moving on. We're almost there, guys.
I stopped taking notes at this point, apparently.
Well, all you're doing is waiting for the Coast Guard thing, right? You do a couple of fights.
Yes, pretty much. You're just waiting for the Coast Guard. Well, you get the lighthouse on, but you also run into Killjoy again, where he gives you the diagnosis.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I got my diagnosis. Here it is.
And this is where he tells Torque that you can put your demons to rest if you can sufficiently power the rebirth machine. So he needs a rebirth machine to cure himself, so to speak.
Yeah, he just has to walk into it again, he says, right?
Yep.
On the docks.
Yep, exactly.
The rebirth machine happens to show up on the docks.
He was building one there, too.
Yeah.
Why build one when you can build two for twice the price?
Good question.
I didn't even put that together. Why would there be another rebirth machine on the docks? Apparently that was fine with me. But, yeah, to paraphrase the ending, I mean, we're at the final boss fight now. You fight your monster.
You fight yourself.
Carmen tells you, yes, by yourself. Carmen tells you that you need to confront what's in you, and you kill the creature, and you kick its ass. And then this is where the 3 endings happen. There's a good ending, bad ending, neutral ending. Chump Slap, give us one of them.
Well, I'll give you my favorite.
Yes, please.
I love the neutral ending.
The neutral ending. Well, what happened in the neutral ending?
In the neutral ending, you see your kid, and he's like, I wouldn't let you kill me, too. Because you see your older son right before you go.
Oh, that's right.
He's like sitting on a fucking something. He's like, I wouldn't let you kill me, too. And then it flashes back, and you get in an argument with your wife. You fucking knock her over. So you beat her a little bit. And she falls over, hits her head, and dies. Your son walks in the room, sees her dead on the ground, sees you standing there, screams, runs to his little brother who is taking a bath, murders his little brother by drowning him in the bath, and then jumps out the window and kills himself from a 2-story house.
So the neutral ending is you killed the wife and the other 2
You
killed.
accidentally kill the wife, and then
The kid killed
the
other
kid
kid and
kills the
himself.
kid and himself, yeah.
Great ending.
So
Ending.
great. I would have never thought that.
Your paraphrase was almost perfect, Chump Slap. The one thing you forgot is the quote that Corey said as he's jumping out of the window.
Oh, what's that?
He says, "You took her away. I'm taking us away."
Yeah.
But dude, that just to set the tone for our listeners out there, that's the neutral.
Totally neutral.
So, Syintist, can you give us the good ending?
Yes, because it's the only one I watched. You know what I mean? The good ending is you're there, and I don't know. Do you walk in on the people in masks, or do they break in while you're there? I don't remember exactly how it happens, but people in masks break into the apartment and kill your wife and 2 kids, and they knock you out or something, or do something to get and say, "This is the Colonel at Eastern's revenge," and they just get 3 guys break in and kill the other people.
Yeah. The Colonel.
Yeah.
Like, there's no mention of the Colonel ever
No, not at
anywhere. Like, you think Dallas would even say something like,
Yeah.
oh, you really fucking pissed the Colonel off or something.
Yeah.
all. Right, yeah.
Yeah, but apparently you did something at Eastern to
Yeah.
piss some guy named the Colonel off.
What the fuck? I didn't see that one coming either.
No.
And then the guy who picks you, the guy from the Coast Guard who picks you up, says, "Hey, my friend tells me that the prosecutor who tried your case, you're gonna get a new trial." Like he'd fucking know. Like,
Oh, yeah. I forgot that
Yeah.
in the neutral ending.
Astoundingly well-informed Coast Guard. He's just some random asshole from the Coast Guard that came to pick you up, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I remember. I know the what does he say? Like, I know the prosecutor."
yeah, something like that.
Or
The
or my
DA.
friend in the
or
DA's office
DAs
told the
and-
prosecutor.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Something like that. They'll probably have a retrial. Like, well,
It's like, this is your lucky day.
all because of the prosecutor. I forget what the prosecutor did. They just said he was indicted.
Yeah.
So some
Yeah.
crimes.
That was awesome.
Good ending. Your family's still fucking dead. So
Yeah, just something you did caused them to die.
Yeah.
exactly. Now the bad ending, which honestly, I don't think this is as bad as the neutral ending. But in the quote bad ending, after Torque defeats the creature, he remembers the murders and realizes that he was the one that actually did it. Like, he purposely killed his wife, he drowned his youngest son, and he threw his oldest, Corey, out of the window.
Not a very efficient way to kill somebody, but
No.
It's pretty brutal. But then when the Coast Guard arrives to like pick you up. Torque transforms into a monster, and then murders the Coast Guard man, and then runs into the woods. So he's just part of the island now as evil.
He's
Torque.
part of the suffering.
Oh yeah, and the neutral ending. The Coast Guard guy comes, picks you up, and he's like, "Oh, you're going back to jail," and then you knock him out and just drive into the ocean, like float into the ocean.
I forgot about that part.
Yeah,
But yeah, he commandeers the boat.
that's not neutral either.
No. So apparently, too, now that we're done with the story here, this game sold 1.5 million units.
Yeah, it seemed like a big one.
Never heard of it.
I mean, that's not nothing.
It had good reviews too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even remember how I ran into it, but I do remember playing this and the sequel. But it's still surprising that no one's ever heard of it besides me.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never even. So dumb.
I honestly thought the game was going like this was all part of his, like, having your life flash before your eyes before you die. I thought he was going to end up dead, and then this was like all him living through the things he did.
That would have been the good ending. Like, he ended up dead and his
Yeah.
family's still alive. That should have been the good ending.
Like, all the monsters were just bad things he did, like the main
Fighting
liners
his own
were,
demons.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going, but then it ended up with nothing. Like, it was just, oh, this is all real life, okay.
Yeah.
Well, when you think about it, too, like, the whole story was, the whole theme of it was mistakes from the past.
Yeah, that's
catching up.
That's kind of what I thought
That's
it was.
the whole point.
Yeah.
And it's like, like every Japanese horror film ever.
Yeah.
That's the exact same thing. But it applies to Torque. It applies to the island, the slave stuff, just everybody in the story it applies to.
Yeah, like I actually thought the story was pretty decent until I found out that it was all real.
So this is based off a true story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, like, it wasn't in his head. Like, the Hellquake actually happened, and these things were actual monsters. It wasn't just...
Yeah, but you turning into a monster was all in your head.
Yeah, but that's only part of it.
True. Did we ever find out what happened to Ernesto's family?
No, we never do. We just assume that he runs into them and
He's
finds
the
them.
protagonist of the second
I
one.
thought I read somewhere that his family, like, he found his house burnt down and couldn't find his kids. I don't know where that came from. Maybe that's just my own hopes and dreams.
Maybe. That's what he deserves.
Fucking A.
But let's move on real quick before we do our final thoughts. Let's talk about some stupid quotes, guys.
Oh, we got one, because I wrote one down that was the best.
Oh, let's hear it.
let's hear
I got
it.
a lot of them.
What was that guy's name? The first guy you run across in the game that goes with you. Dallas? Dude, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, whatever.
When they get to the showers, and he's like, oh, I'd rather go stanky than shower in T-block.
Stanky.
That's pretty good.
That is
I
pretty
have a couple Dallas ones too, because Dallas would not stop fucking talking. He says, "What? Probably my second favorite. Fuck the parole board. I beat him." That was Dallas, and Dallas's other good one. I honestly loved this delivery, and this moment is when he goes, "I'm goddamn shocked I ain't dead yet." I was like, that's pretty good.
It is. I was just out of, like, blue.
But there's some brutal ones too. Like, I have one from Hermes where he says, "Nothing compares to the deep satisfaction of terminating a human life."
Classic
Like,
Hermes.
Jesus Christ, that's brutal. And this is throwing back to the beginning of the episode. The pedophile, I believe his name was Goose.
Sure.
That's when the wise old black man in the cell said, "Shut your cracker ass, Goose."
Nice. I missed that one.
That's all I got for stupid quote. There were so many. Like, Ernesto could have filled this out by himself.
Yeah, I had two. Just sometimes it's the body that threatens the mind and must be removed.
Good old Killjoy.
That's a good one.
And who would care to broadcast only on the audio spectrum of human perception?
That's some deep shit.
Right? Little self-dig.
Oh, I have another one from Dallas too. I wrote down. I forgot about when they I forget they're walking around. He's like, "There's just the way he delivers it." He's like, "What is the shit on the floor? Looks like blood."
Because that's the shocking thing he's seeing.
Yeah.
There's blood on the floor?
That's what he's like, "Oh boy."
But I also thought it was because it's obviously blood. I mean, what is this shit on the floor?
Yeah.
So, all right, that wraps it up. So, Chump Slap, would you play the game? Did the story work for you? Likes, dislikes? Let's hear it.
I'd like the story. I thought it was really cool. I think they should remake it. I mean, it is 15 years old at this point. So if they like made it better with like better sound and like if you have the headphones on and you hear like these weird fucking demon voices and shit while you're playing, that'd be so cool. And if it had better graphics and crazier blood.
I agree. I think there's something to that type of horror game, like more like the Fear series, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like, yeah.
Where it's a shooter, but there's freaky shit happening all over the place. And yeah, the noise and yeah, I agree. I think there's something to a remake for sure.
Yeah.
Would you play it?
I would. I'd play a remake. I wouldn't play this old one just because it's old and it looks bad. But I still give it a 10 out of 27.
10 out of 27. All right. We'll take that. Oh, by the way, for you listeners that are unaware, that is our rating system out of 27 stars.
Yes, 10 stars.
10 out of 27.
Perfect 10 out of 27.
So what about you, Syintist? Final thoughts? Would you play it? Did the story work for you?
Would I play it? No. The story, like I said, it worked until I found out that there wasn't just imagination. I don't know. It's
A better ending would have made you
yeah.
like it better. All right.
A different ending, not just better.
Yeah.
But I gave it a 9 out of 27.
Ooh.
Solid 25. Or 33%, I mean.
Okay. So you would have liked it better or given it a higher rate. What would you have given it if the whole thing was happening in Torque's head?
Probably an 11.
Okay.
Still wasn't your type of gameplay
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, what was interesting, too, about this game, I don't know why every game doesn't do it, but you could actually switch between first and third-person view.
Yeah, I saw that in the speedrun when he did it. He switched a lot to line things up.
Oh, that's interesting.
The speedrun was like 18 minutes.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome. Would you play it again?
I think I would. I'd play it again for about 10, 15 minutes and then probably get frustrated at the control scheme.
So a remake is what you want.
Yes.
Yeah, I would love to see a remake. I think this is
A Resident Evil 2 style remake.
either that or a new entry in the series.
VR remake.
Oh, God, dude, a horror game like this in VR, I'd just shit my
Fuck
pants
yeah.
left and right.
I'd buy VR just for it, and I'd probably get a headache every time, but I'd still try to play it.
Yeah, especially with the voices and stuff. They can make the flashes happen in front of you.
Yeah. That'd be so cool.
Oh, that would be awesome. I agree. So, VR people, get on that. I have no idea who owns the rights to Midway games at this point. Does Midway still exist?
Do they still make pinball machines?
I doubt it, but they might exist. Who knows? They're probably bought out by EA or
Sony
THQ
or
or
some
something,
big
yeah.
company, yeah. Some conglomerate owns them. Oh, look at this. It's Nestle.
You could play it at any Taco Bell. And
Play it on the Coke machine.
Oh, man. I don't know what happened to their rights, but they terminated the company in 2010 for bankruptcy.
So is
someone probably bought the rights for their games on an auction and never doing anything with them.
this intellectual property just floating out there? Can we purchase it?
Someone has to own it because they've made other Rampage. Like, this is also Midway who did Rampage. They did Mortal Kombat, NBA Jam. Like, some of those games have more modern.
Well, Rampage was just made in a movie, so whoever owns that might own it.
Sony.
Yeah.
Sony,
Or Disney, who knows?
Microsoft.
SKG.
But anywho, so that's it. That's one of the best games we've ever ran into.
What did you rate it?
Yeah, you did.
I'm gonna give it a 26. No. I liked the story. I liked that everything was themed in a prison thing. I liked how it was a shooter, but it was also scary. So I'm gonna give it a solid 14. I'm gonna give it 14 out of 27.
How many total stars is that?
That's 33.
33.
That's 33 stars.
That's got to be our number 2 so far. Well, since we started using the ranking system.
Oh, I mean, we could go back and check.
Nah, fuck it.
Yeah, I don't remember what we gave Bayonetta.
Our 100th episode, we'll just go through all 100 and rank them.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Sounds good to me.
Perfect. So that brings us to our favorite segment every week. Each week we ask Syintist for a 100% guaranteed gambling pick. So we call that Syintist Lock of the Week. Syintist, who do you got this week?
I have Stockton +4 over Penrith in the North England Cricket League. Oh, say that 5 times.
No thing. No,
Yeah.
no, thank you.
They're going to lose, but they'll cover the spread. Easy win.
What's the spread?
4. They're getting 4. So Stockton, the Stockton Raptors.
Dude, 4 in cricket is like nothing. Aren't those games like 180 to like 200 or some crazy shit like that.
Didn't say it wasn't going to be close.
Yeah.
It's just a squeaker, but it is a lock.
It is a lock. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to go get all your stuff. You're going to sell it. Then you're going to take that money. You're going to sell your money. And you're going to put it all in this game. Because this is a guaranteed 100% sure gambling lock.
Fuck yeah.
That takes us to our final segment of the week, and also our favorite segment of the week, Chump Slap's recommendation window. Every week, we ask Mr. Chump Slap for a recommendation on whatever comes to my mind before I finish this sentence. So this week, Chump Slap, I'm going to ask you for a graphic novel recommendation. What graphic novel would you suggest we read this week?
I'd say you go out and you buy, what's it called? Transmetropolitan? Is that the one? Where it's like Hunter S. Thompson kind of guy. He's like a journalist. Fucked if
No idea
I
what you're
know,
talking
man.
about.
But I remember reading the first graphic novel of it, and I thought it was pretty decent. Well, I guess it wasn't really a graphic novel. It was more just a collection of comic books. What's the difference?
graphic
Either way.
What's the difference?
Pictures and words. So go check it out. And the name of that again was what, Chump Slap?
Transmetropolitan.
Transmetropolitan. Go check it out. It's probably dope.
Or it might not exist. I don't know.
It could have been existing only in a fever dream of Chump Slap. Who knows?
When he was escaping from Abbott prison.
Exactly. So we hope you all feel better at Abbott than Torque did. Mr. Chump Slap, where can everybody find us?
Well, you can find us at Plotty Time, one word, on Instagram, the Twitters, all over. Or you can email us, if you're so inclined, at plottytime@gmail.com.
Great. Thank you so much. And that does it for this week. So everybody take care and try not to go into any demon earthquakes.
Peace.
Go floorball.
Later.
Shoot him in the face.